Three, two, one. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tech Talks. I'm Victor here with Julie, and we have another week of content for you. Hopefully, you guys enjoy. Julie this time has not been briefed,
I have no idea any of the topics that we're discussing at all.
but I will go and give a brief description of each one, and then we'll go into it. So, Microsoft permanently closing its stores. Um, Google redesigned photos. There is going to be Google automatically deleting your history, and issues with YouTube Music, and the challenges that are coming with the new service. So, starting off with Microsoft permanently closing all of its retail stores. This comes courtesy of The Verge for this article. Ow, cat, not digging into my thigh. Thank you.
I didn't really know that Microsoft had storefronts. It makes sense that they would, but I'm not even sure if I'd seen any.
Well, we did in San Francisco. There's a Microsoft storefront in the mall there. That giant.
Okay, the Westfield Mall?
The Westfield Mall? I don't remember what it's called.
Oh, okay.
But we went to the food court and things like that, and the subway's underneath it. I can't remember what the name is. But yeah, there's a Microsoft store there. And it says that it's permanently closing these locations, and it would expect the 4 locations that to be reimagined as experience centers that no longer sell products.
Interesting. So they're not closing the locations, just really shifting what the point is. And I guess that it makes sense since you can buy the products online. They're pretty easy to order that way. And 4 stores nationwide wasn't many anyways.
Well, all right, the 4 stores that are going to be switching. Sorry, I didn't get the I didn't
That's okay,
phrase it
go
properly.
ahead.
So there's 4 stores that are going to be switching to this new system. There's New York, London, Sydney, and Redmond.
Oh,
And the rest of the Microsoft Store locations across all the United States will be closing.
okay. So most locations are closing permanently. 4 are kind of switching from storefronts to experience centers, and those only one of them is in the States here in San Francisco.
New
And
York,
oh, in New York.
yeah,
Oh, so the San Francisco one
will
that
be closing permanently.
we had apparently at least seen. Okay. All right. So that is that. And down the road, maybe they'll tell more about the experiences.
Yeah, you don't want to touch that. It goes to the microphone.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. The so Microsoft says Microsoft.com and Xbox and Windows storefronts reach up to 1.2 billion monthly customers in 190 markets. They also say that there will be no layoffs from today's decision, which was whenever this was posted. Um, they are commitment to growing and developing careers from this diverse pool. The talent pool is stronger than ever. I assume that they plan on changing or like adding them to some sort of call team, or I don't know what they're gonna do with the people that earn places.
Probably offer them some form of job that is obviously not the same as what they were previously doing. Some of them might like it, some of them might be told that they might have to relocate. It's
Yeah.
hard to say exactly, but at least I would think and hope that having some job offer is better than a layoff, but I don't know. I'm sure there will be some people that don't like the offer for what the new position is. Anything else on that topic?
That is about it. The rest of it was just talking about the new Surface products,
Fair enough.
which we've already went over before.
Mm-hmm.
Google redesigning Photos. Photos has a new logo. Let me see if mine has actually updated to the new logo.
Is it more than just the logo that's updating?
Yeah, there's a few internal pieces too. Let's see here. Yeah, my Photos has the new Photos logo.
Oh,
which,
it's like a pinwheel.
yeah, it's the
four
flower,
colors.
but without as much detail. It's more of like a windmill almost, instead of like the what was it? Oh, there was more detail in the last one. It had like a lot more sharp edges.
I don't remember what the old one was at all, but yeah.
Let's
Anyways,
see.
the logo is what it is. What else did they change? What's
That was
actually
the old
gonna?
one.
Oh yeah. So it's similar, just a rounded half circles as the pinwheels, folks.
Yeah, and the shading's been taken away. The redesign.
Yeah, how is that
This
gonna
is
impact?
from the Google blog. It's a simplified experience. So the bottom buttons at the bottom now are 3 different buttons. There's just Photos, Search, and Library. And the Photos here, it says main control contains all your photos and videos. You'll now see larger thumbnails and autoplaying videos. So there's less space in between in between the photos, and videos will autoplay as you scroll down.
I wonder. I mean, I'm assuming that would be like if you're connected to the internet and or have the video downloaded on your phone.
Yeah.
Because that would be annoying when you're not at home and it just uses data when you're just like.
If it uses data, that should be a setting that you can turn off the autoplay.
I would hope they do that pretty easily. Again, since this is from Google, we use Google Fi, which means that whenever we try to like look at a photo and we're not at home, it's using data to access those photos. And so to autoplay those videos, to me, doesn't sound like a feature I would personally be interested in unless you were connected to Wi-Fi. If they had it so you could very easily make it so videos only autoplay.
I mean, most apps, they do have that option. Like Twitter, you have autoplay only on Wi-Fi.
Fair enough. Like okay, hopefully that is what they have then.
Search. Searching the photos library. Oh, and at the very top is the memories carousel, where very much like the stories on Instagram or Facebook, where you can select and it just goes to the memories of that day.
And let me double check with you on this. So for Google Photos, you have a large storage that is free, but it's not unlimited, correct? Or no, it's free unlimited at the smaller compression?
Yeah, there's a free unlimited with compressed video if you want original quality. If you want original quality video and photos, then you would need data or storage space.
Interesting. And then I also recently learned, you explained about with Google Drive, I had thought that the max storage along the left side when it tells you like 93%, I thought that was for your whole drive, and only recently learned that Google Docs and Google Sheets and Google Slideshows, none of those count against your storage maximum. It's only the other documents, which is good to know, but it's still limited storage for sure.
Yeah, 15 gigs.
It goes fast.
It's very nice that
it is nice.
Is that. And 15 gigs is quite a bit of storage too. It's not,
okay, here's my problem with it, and I mentioned this to you before. So I wish that you could make the unlimited free storage you get for, if I understand it correctly, my .berkeley.net account gets free unlimited storage because the company pays through Google. Google Suites is what we use for like our Gmail and everything. Unfortunately, for both that company and other companies I've worked for where my email is through Gmail, I am given the option for unlimited free storage, but the problem is those accounts are tied to the organization I'm working for. So I can't actually store my work files on that. I have to have a separate private personal email address because I'm not going to work forever for those other companies. And then when I leave those companies, I've had the problem where they then own my files, the things that I have bought with my money to make my job easier, and then all my confidential files that I have to keep for at least 7 years after I stop working with a kid, and so forth. So it gets to be really frustrating when there's that limited storage on your private accounts, and then you have unlimited storage where you can't actually store something unless you're going to work for that company for the rest of your life. I don't know. It's not ideal, but it is what it is.
Yeah. The search, the second button is going to be the search, where you can search your libraries, and we're putting search front and center. You also have find a new interactive map view from this search, so that when you hit the search, it'll show you a map, and then you can see the pictures from the based on location.
Oh, this is okay. I'm sorry for that tangent. Within the Photos app,
yeah,
you can search
app.
by map.
Yeah, there's going to be the search is just going to be at the bottom, so you can search by your name if you have the names of people and the faces correlated with them, all the normal search things. But they're also adding a little map view that if you want to search by location, you'll just see a big map of.
That's another nice way to be able to search through photos. The more ways to search, the better, I would think. More options.
And then the library tab will have your albums, your favorites, your trash, your archive, and everything else is being just consolidated. And then they go into more about the map view. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. They talk about the fresh new icon. So that was the basic redesign overhaul. Instead of the 4 tabs at the bottom and then the menu bar for some things and the bottom bar for other things, you just now have the 3 tabs at the bottom.
And it's really hard for me to have any comments as far as like, how is it? Because I haven't used it and I thought the old one was fine, but who knows? Maybe this one will be more intuitive and easier to use, or maybe it'll be really tricky because it's different. So time will tell, I think, on that one.
That will be. We'll let you know as we utilize it to see if we have any grievances. If not, though, you could probably assume that it didn't cause any grievances.
Hopefully.
And next up on the notes that I have here, we have Google automatically deleting location history by default.
A year and a half afterwards, right?
A year and a half afterwards.
That's what I had read.
18 months.
Yeah.
So by default, when Google now will have it set so that your location history automatically deletes after 18 months, instead of you having to manually set that, and then it just keeps the data location history forever. And there's really not much on that. It's just, people with their privacy that they want, having it default, knowing that it's going to delete sometime, is nice, because I think the idea of something just hanging around forever in somebody's server does kind of put people on edge a bit more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's pretty nice, being able to have that as a default.
And it seems like it would have been unnecessary storage space used up. Because for the most part, what does anyone need to go back and look at what they were doing years ago? For the most part, if you need to know.
A lot of the Google having the location doesn't mean much. A lot of those locations will be timestamped on your photos if you take photos, so that they'll tell you based off of the location, this is where you were years ago.
Right.
But yeah, as to Google, what they would use it for is a lot less. As time goes on, people move, they tend to not need the same recommendations from 18 months ago that they need today.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to give that algorithm a bit of a reset too, to base it purely on what's been within the last 18 months. What?
I don't know. I don't know what you're. Okay. Yes. Yes.
And because Google does give recommendations based off of location and what you've done.
Yeah, no, I just was saying it seems like unnecessary
According
storage.
to Wikipedia, location-based recommendations
Okay, Google.
recommenders.
Stop.
I forgot what I was saying. Never mind.
Now with the other thing, YouTube Music, and so here's a article from Ars Technica by Ron Amato. He's talking about YouTube Music and switching from Google Play Music. And there's been some problems when it comes to a lot of the features that are getting paywalled in YouTube Music that were not paywalled in Google Play Music. And so he was talking about music library feature in Google Play Music, where you can upload your own music library to the cloud and then utilize that from there. And when it turns out that you switched over to YouTube Music, there's a lot of restrictive playback rules. For instance, he needed YouTube or the Music Premium, the $10 a month, in order to listen to his own music that he uploaded to it, and also in order to play it to the speakers. So let me see if I get it. Yeah, so he had his own music. So this is the scenario. He had his own music. He uploaded it, but then on YouTube Music, he
it's stored on the cloud, is my understanding.
It's stored on the cloud, and he wouldn't be able to cast it to his speaker without the subscription.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like he said, which is pretty ridiculous. And yeah, I get that the convenience is that they're storing on the cloud server, but that's not as much as, like, it's not a service, especially if this is something they used to do. It seems really foolish for them to go backwards and now start charging people for that.
Yeah, I think it's really an oversight. I don't see it as like a big.
They were trying.
I don't see it as. Sorry, they were trying to do like something like this, but they probably built the app one way and then realized it's not continuous with the previous app. I could be wrong though. It could be more nefarious than that. But yeah, there's a few other things when it comes to casting, but essentially, like, you need YouTube Music or the Music Premium in order to cast at all from the YouTube Music app.
I have a question. Right now, are we still paying for the Music Premium?
Yeah.
So is it an extra $10 and it's only for the music thing? Or is it for other things too?
Also for YouTube Premium altogether. So that's where you don't get ads on YouTube at all. And there's a few other things with it. But those were the main two.
And you really like it, huh? Not having the ads and
not having the ads thing. And also just being able to listen to music. We don't have any music.
See, here's the thing about the music. Since I've been working from home the last few months, I've not used Google Music at all, I don't think, at all, even once in the last 3 months, because I'm not commuting. And then as far as YouTube, again, for work or when I'm during the day using YouTube, I'm not signed in through the account where we pay. So even though we pay for me not to have to watch ads, more than half of the YouTube videos I watch, I still have to watch ads because I have to use my other account. And so it's one of those things where, again, it's just like, it to me is not worth it. I would, if it were up to me and it were just like for my benefit, I wouldn't pay for the Google Music. But I know because
I mean, we were using quite consistently. But that's more of an us thing. That's not
Right.
a
no,
a broad.
I was curious about like what's included though, because that it just to me it seems like if they're gonna make it so that you even have to pay for, hopefully, like you said, it's an oversight and they fix this. It just doesn't seem like an improvement to the services they had. It seems, in my opinion, like this was actually a negative shift.
Yeah, I think this so far YouTube Music. I don't like the user interface. This kind of is just another icing on the cake of like I get that they're trying to consolidate their music apps, but I don't think that they're doing it right. I also kind of think that they might be choosing the wrong app. I like the idea of YouTube Music to be able to find like music videos and having like a purely like music version of YouTube, but
Yeah.
I thought that was more of like a side
Having
thing.
the audio visual separate from the audio focused.
Yeah.
Because that's what, in my perception, what the difference primarily had been.
Yeah, it's just for people that wanted that. I thought that was like a smaller audience than the people that used YouTube Music or the Google Play Music, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So those were the.
And I have a question. Any
Yeah.
word on whether they will automatically port over your playlists from Google Play Music?
You have to. There's like some. What was it? There's something in the interface that will allow you to switch over. I don't think everybody has access to that yet, but yes, they are going to let you move over your playlist to Google Play or YouTube Music.
Okay, that is good.
And so those are like the main big things for today. That between Microsoft and Google. I did also have another one. Oculus is discontinuing its Go headsets. So Oculus is a VR system. We've talked about VR quite a lot here. And the Oculus Go is kind of their portable Oculus version that doesn't require a computer. And I'm trying to remember if it was also the one that.
So
Yeah, it was essentially like a little bit better than having a phone with your magnifying glass. But it wasn't a big seller, it seems, and I think rightfully so. I don't think a lot of people are getting into the VR experience for the casual VR nature of it. There's some good things about it, but that like if you're on a plane, I think some people have liked using VR on planes to kind of get rid of the atmosphere around them. Some people get sick on planes and things like that, and it's helped them. But I think that's a very small group of people that's catering to.
And like you said, if it's not much of a step up from the phone inside of a cardboard viewer,
Yeah.
there is still that option.
So they so yeah, they're discontinuing that. You're gonna see a lot more of this mid to high end VR systems. And I think as long as the VR is still being made, more generations of it are coming out. I think VR is going to become cheaper and more prevalent. And maybe one day they will go back to having cheap headsets that are computer free.
I imagine eventually. Yeah. Any other topics for today?
There is a couple that I have, but we could probably say, well, actually, there's just one last thing, I guess, and then I can have a new list for next week. And that is Windows 10. Windows 10, if you have a Windows computer, you probably realized that recently there is a big update that took forever to install. And there's been a few updates recently with Windows. We're not going to get into those really because they're pretty sizable updates, but nothing drastic when it comes to you using Windows. However, there was a behind the scenes feature for gamers, if you're a gamer, and if you have a NVIDIA hardware like NVIDIA 1080 like we have in our computers, graphics card. And with the new Windows update and a full updated drivers on your graphics card, you'll find in the settings in Windows that there's a new option for hardware accelerated GPU, graphics processor. And what that does is it makes it so that all the graphics processing power stays on the graphics card. It doesn't need to send any information to the RAM or the CPU to do its processing. And what that does is save a lot of time. Milliseconds of time for us, but lots of time for the computer.
It adds up.
Yeah, and if you're playing a lot of games or even using it for Photoshop or video editing, being able to have all that graphics processing lag wiped away increases in the stability. For games you have, I know my game increased it by like 30 FPS almost to for it was Dota actually that it increased the frame rate for quite a lot just by having that turned on. So very good feature.
Well, how would people turn that on if they wanted to?
In the Windows settings, then you go to let me pull it up here again. Once you go into your Windows settings and then you go to your graphics, that's it.
And this is specifically if you have the NVIDIA, right?
Specifically if you have NVIDIA graphics card. And I don't know how old it needs to be or how new it needs to be.
But if you've got a NVIDIA graphics card, I guess it's worth checking out.
Yeah.
And
then you go to System, and then in your display you scroll all the way down to the bottom and you find Graphics Settings, and you'll see Hardware Accelerated GPU right there.
and then you just click to turn it on.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
And that is it for today. We went through a lot of them, but there was a lot of small things, not a ton of big
It was good.
things. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. And feel free to like and subscribe on YouTube. And if you're watching this on any other platform, subscribe. Have a great one, guys.
Take care.